This is Subnautica Below Zero. We're on Xbox Series X, taking a look at this aquatic survival experience. So what we're getting here are really two options, and we'll be diving into that shortly. So we're returning to planet 4546b. Submerge yourself in an all-new Sub-Zero expedition in an Arctic region of the planet. Arriving with little more than your wits and some survival equipment, you set out to investigate what happened to your sister. So there are basically multiple ways to play: survival, creative. You get a few different options for how you want to, approach the scenario as you attempt to navigate this aquatic world, with this one being a bit more snow-based, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a neat experience and expansion upon the concepts of the original game. I'm just kind of waiting for the cutscene things just to kind of hurry up so that we can, start talking about some of the visual elements of the game. So Altera left in a hurry after a mysterious incident. Abandoned research stations dot the region. What happened to the scientists who lived and worked here? Logs and whatnot tell you what is going on. Great, so here's the gameplay. We get two options when we go to the settings for graphics. We get either a high frame rate mode, which is a 4K dynamic 60 FPS, or we get a high quality mode, which is a native 4K 30 FPS mode. So I'm going to show off a bit of the high quality for a bit, and continue on with our adventure there. And yeah, so no HDR support. This is a Xbox Play Anywhere title, and it's kind of, I don't think you necessarily, I don't believe you need to play the first one in order to understand or have context of what's going on here. But, obviously the first Subnautica game is really quite great. I think a lot of people like it. And then the sequel kind of takes that initial concept and I think goes a little bit further with it gameplay-wise, which is kind of cool. Now, while we are showing off the 4K 30 here, which looks wonderful, you're probably going to want to stick with the high frame rate mode. I know it changes the visual texture detailing a bit. You can see that in the bottom screen there with the, you can see the little aquatic, I guess you could say plants and flora, how they sort of lose a little bit of detail texturing. But I think to get the 60 FPS, you're probably going to be alright with that, I would imagine. And then there's also field of view options too. So you can move that in, you can kind of dig that back if you want to see more. So that's kind of some neat options you have just in regards to changing your viewing angle, and I think this makes kind of more sense, the FOV, when you think of being in kind of a scuba suit and whatnot. But we're going to take it back to the original default settings because, basically we're trying to show off what the game regularly looks like to those that are going and playing this one right now, right off the bat. And there's some accessibility options too that are present within this one. But yeah, this is just the beginning of the game, kind of showing it off and whatnot, talking about it. So what you do in the game is you basically attempt to, survive, or, do other things, whatever you want to do. You're doing research, you're trying to discover things, there's a mystery going on here. Hidden secrets, you gotta watch out for your food bar, your water, things like that, and then you're kind of uncovering a mystery while you are doing so, which is kind of neat. And then you got bases and whatnot. And while it definitely does keep up the whole crashed sort of element, gameplay-wise, I think it does kind of feel like more of a different type of mission, because this is like a rescue type thing, which is kind of cool. And then you can get logs and stuff, and this is kind of neat. And we got the fabricator, so we can start making stuff and equipment and everything like that. Compass, first aid kit, tools. Probably need to get a scanner going, and deployables, waterproof locker and whatnot. So yeah, you kind of get your materials. Pin recipe. I guess we don't have any actual resources right off the bat, do we? It's kind of hey, good luck with the survival out there. Mr. First Aid if needed. That's kind of funny. Usually they give you, some resources and whatnot to survive, but definitely does not seem to be the case. So I guess we gotta get in there and we gotta start doing some mission and whatnot.
Should be able to use this.
And we need titanium, and we need some other stuff too. But yeah, you're just exploring this really gorgeous aquatic world, and you're trying to figure out, what's going on, and just kind of taking in the beauty of this oceanic landscape. And then there is that, sort of like cold element to it, if that makes sense. Like, a bit of a chill and whatnot. This is a little bit of a frost, one might say, to the world. Like, it's still got all of the wonder and discovery of, going around and figuring out things and kind of creating new things to craft, but it just adds like a different element to it, which I think is kind of nice. And then, of course, this really cold spot. I hope the suit's kind of keeping you warm a little bit. It's kind of funny, but they do a great job in this series of really providing like a dense kind of world for you to explore, if that makes sense. It just really, it's a survival game, very typical sort of survival game. But I think the concept of throwing you, entirely under the water really does make this stand out from other similar offerings. I think that's kind of fun. Can we collect that? Sea glide fragment. Fascinating. Let's see if we can collect this emergency cache here before we run out of water. Oh, that's helpful.
Oxygen.
Yeah, until I start to die of lack of oxygen and whatnot. But yeah, just think of all like the crazy places you can go. And like I said, obviously looks better when you have the high graphical setting on, but having the frame rate when you're moving around, I think is such a good bonus and definitely worth it. Grab trap fragment. Anything else good around here? Alright, let's go up and get a little bit more oxygen. Try to make sure we get everything. See, this is the hard part. It's making sure you've actually collected everything you need to. Because I'm assuming there's stuff in the vicinity that has also gone knocking around, and there can be like some really deep cave segments that you find yourself going to. I think that's kind of exciting. Picked up a creature's egg. That's always great. I wonder if there's anything else down there that I need to get to. See, it gets a little tiring initially when you have to keep getting the oxygen, but as you level up, or well, not level up, but level your skills and whatnot as a survivor, I guess as in resource collection, you can grab things such as like, additional oxygen tanks that kind of improve how much you can, how much oxygen you can have on you, and I think that helps a lot gameplay-wise.
Show or hide the signals of your choice with your Xenoworks EDA.
Use beacons to mark traverse territory. I don't know if we should bring the beacon with us. We're gonna bring the beacon with us. Take a big gasp of air and let's go down there. Seriously, these things must be fantastic that they're not just like straight up freezing to death on this planet. I'm sure they've taken the necessary precautions though. It's just kind of an amazing world to explore. There's something about being under the water that's really cool, because I think it's not something that we all get to really enjoy that much. It's something that very few people are able to like dive around. Like I live in the middle of like the country and whatnot, so there's lakes and stuff, but we don't have anything like widespread for diving and whatnot. So yeah, another Another fragment, fascinating. Let's see what kind of bounty we got when we jump in our little tank thing. I also wonder why you would put this under the water and not above ground and whatnot. I don't know. Seems like a lot of water would get in. It is the future, I suppose. Let's see what we got here. Beacon. I don't know if we need a beacon. I'd rather get like a... need a battery. And I think it wants us to do the beacon thing. And then our 3D printer brings it to life. Oh yeah. I think we can refine stuff. I don't know if we have any materials that we can refine into stuff like that. A battery, we need ribbon plant and copper ore. Hopefully we don't have any storage, so we've got 2 beacons. Disinfected water, first aid kit, creature egg. Right on. You do you, beacon. Let's see if we can collect some plant stuff so we can make a battery. And of course we're gonna need some more material, like as in, I think it was what, titanium we needed or something like that. I know, we need a lot of rock stuff. I'm gonna find out where the rock area is. I definitely also think that this one is like a bit of a, you know, step up from the first Subnautica, just in terms of like the visual elements of it. Because that one also got upgraded and whatnot, but you know, I don't think it necessarily is backed by a completely brand new experience setup, right? See anything else we can grab before we run out of health?
Oxygen.
Thank you, PDA. Always insightful. So yeah, just like kind of the beacon system there. It's neat. Some copper ore. Just trying to find out what we can get. I don't know if I want to build a scanner right off the bat. If I want to build some kind of tool that lets me get stuff better or faster. That's what it's all about. You gotta sit here and collect materials and then build stuff and craft and then explore further. You'll be right at home if you're coming off of the first Subnautica, but if you're completely new to the series, you're probably going to be like, huh? You know, it's definitely going to take a bit of adjustment to get used to, I would imagine. Suppose we can get anything here. It's always oxygen this, oxygen that. Yeah, it's kind of neat. It's a new chapter too, which is cool, so I wonder if they are going to, you know, keep expanding the Subnautica series with different things. Crazy storms going on in the night. That's always kind of cool. Now the question is, when are we going to get Subnautica team experience? There we go, nice battery. And that means we can get some equipment going on, which would be a scanner and glass. Okay. Now we can start scanning stuff, which is kind of cool.
Alright, I have a scanner.
And you make some glass. Because I think we maybe want a flashlight. I need a flare, but I think the survival tool would be kind of helpful. So we need some silicon rubber. Silicon rubber, creep vine, seed cluster. Alrighty then. Now we can scan some stuff. Now we can add this to our database. Yeah, there's a lot more density and stuff here. Oh, we can take it? Yeah.
New creature
I wonder if we can
discovered.
eat it. We should actually be attempting to eat things soon, because our hunger bar is going down.
New creature discovered.
New blueprint. Oh yeah, you discovered the different blueprints and whatnot as you continue going around.
Oxygen. New
Go get to the
blueprints
surface, get some more
synthesized.
water. Dun, dun, dun. Mostly trying to find more of what we need mineral or, well, material-wise. Kind of wondering how far we need to go to actually get this plant. Usually the basic plants are like right beside where you are. But other plants might be a little bit further.
Calorie intake recommended.
Creepvine, which is what I need.
Oxygen.
Which makes me wonder if I need a knife to get that. Get to the surface! It is really snowing out there. That's why I like to be under the water. Also, it's just really majestic. Like, we can, like, literally pick up anything. I want to grab
New
this.
creature discovered.
Welcome, Arctic Peeper. That's kind of a funny name. So is she naming these? Like, it's a new thing I'm discovering, right? But, like, has humanity not discovered these things? Am I, like, setting a new frontier of exploration and discovery? I love how this thing can even, like, make food for me. No, that's not it. Let's see. Cooked.
Vital
And
signs
that
stabilizing.
will boost our food a little bit, which is nice. Let's see what else we can cook. We should probably cook the hoop fish. And this fish too. And that fish. I only need a bladderfish in order for the filtrated water. That makes sense. And it looks like we air bladder. So obviously the air tool is very helpful. Multifunctional tools. We need the silicon. Again, which we need creepvine seed clusters. Okay. Let's eat a little bit of food. Now let's see if we can find these clusters that it keeps talking about. It's good that we're collecting a lot of titanium, though. Just hold onto its neck. That's kind of funny. These poor fish creatures are probably like, this is not part of our natural environment. I'm just here, like, grabbing them for snacks. Hopefully, like, seafood, because, you know, it's basically what you're eating down here, right? Ooh, looks like somebody's getting some good minerals tonight. It's always oxygen this, oxygen that. Sometimes I just want to go around and collect things out in the middle of this water area. So we got some creepvine things. Well, these aren't creepvine things. I need those things so I can grab the silicon. I mean, I had seen them earlier, but alas, should have stayed around a little bit longer to collect them, I guess. See if we find anything else over here.
Oxygen.
It's not too bad if you run out of oxygen. You're just kind of like, you know, pass out after a bit. I don't know why they send them down with suits that have, like, literally no oxygen hold at all. Seems like a bad idea to me. Seems like a very poorly put together plan. Look at all these things. Can we grab, like, a school of hoopfish? Get back here. We'll collect you. Oh, that looks like something that we are looking for. Yeah. Oh, is that thing, like, eating that thing or trying to stomp that thing? Ooh, can I collect that? I can collect that. Uh-oh. Oh, you actually could freeze in this? Oh, my oxygen kind of went down a little bit faster than I thought it would. Well, that sucks. it's a good thing that I can somehow find my way back to camp even though I died. Yeah, I died and lost some belongings. Well, that's rough, but that's the life of Subnautica.